Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I want you to take a look right now around. Just look around and notice how abundant you really are. I feel very abundant right now. Mandy, Harvey is here with us today. She just made it. Her flight was delayed. She was fighting traffic and she's here. She made it. Woohoo! Amazing. How abundant. How abundant. What are you abundant in? We're programmed not to notice. And I want to reprogram that with you to notice how abundant we really are. We have an amazing show. Like I said, Mandy Harvey is here. She's an amazing human. She's overcome all odds. She's here to talk about it and how to overcome, how to keep going even when life knocks you down. And we have Larry Michel here too. He is the founder of the Institute of Genetic Energetics, and he is going to do our Get Your Shit Together segment of the show. He's going to talk about the discipline of inquiry. The discipline of inquiry. You want to stay tuned to the end for mantra magic and the meditation moment and the activation. I have a surprise with mantra magic today, so stay tuned for that. There's a beautiful gift from Mandy included in the mantra magic challenge we have this week. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your very, very precious time to spend it with us today. It is now time for Change Your State, Elevate. All right, so we have a very, very special gift today for Change Your State. Mandy Harvey is going to play and sing for us today. So just in case you don't know, Mandy is deaf. The fact that she can talk to me right now and sing for us is a miracle. And it's a testament to overcoming. And so I want just her presence and the ability that she has to do what she's doing right now to change our state and elevate it. Welcome, Mandy Harvey.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me. I wanted to play this song for you. It's called Masterpiece. It's about understanding that every piece and part of who you are and all of the journey that you've been on, even the stuff that we wish that we could throw away, the things that we wish we had never experienced, are a part of what makes us unique and what makes us who we actually are. And so all together, we become a masterpiece. When I feel like I'm all broken pieces that I wish I could just throw away, look for glue I can put in between them, back in place, back in place. 'Cause my heart is way up on the ceiling, and my mind took a boat, sailed away. But I still got my angels and demons, used up string, can of paints. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I've got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and they'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done. Might never be, I might never be done. There's no blueprint for me, no instructions, so I went ahead and made them up. But I know that it's worth all the trouble. Paper cuts, paper cuts. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I've got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and I'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done, might never be, I might never be done. I might never be done. Might never be, might never be done. Yeah, I look pretty good from a distance, but I'm a mess if you see me close up. It's an ongoing pièce de resistance, all lit up, light it up. Well, I'm no artist, but I think I got this. Might be the hardest thing I've ever done. Pick up the pieces, pieces of me, and I'll be a masterpiece when I am done. Might never be done, I might never be, I might never be done. I might never be done. Might never be, might never be done. I'll never be done.
Oh, so good. Oh, thank you for sharing that. We're going to have you on in just a bit again, Mandy. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Ah, so good. Love it. All right, it's now time for Get Your Shit Together. All right, I'm very excited to introduce you to Larry Michel. He is the AKA Love Shepherd. He's the founder of the Institute of Genetic Energetics. He is a relationship restoration coach, speaker, producer, and author, steward for a revolutionary science which delivers an understanding of the impact and expanse of our energetic relationships, helping people break free of stories and to experience all the benefits of courageous intimacy. He is my friend, and put your hands together for the amazing Larry Michel.
Whoa. Oh my God, what a beautiful song to start with. That was so good.
Right? Oh, the fact that she can sing and then sing like that, and she can't even hear us talking right now. She's a phenomenon. You know what I mean? Phenomenon.
One of those, yes.
Yeah, that. Well, you're here to talk about the discipline of inquiry. Tell us more.
Oh gosh. So this is going to be the Reader's Digest version, right? But what I want to share is what I think are foundationally probably for me and for most people I know, that the most important pieces of information that we could possibly know. And it starts with when we were born, right? Two things happen when we're born. We come out of the birth canal, we take our first breath of air, and that air in our lungs and our heart beating is where our life force begins to shine. And that's love. In that moment, we have love. We are love. We're never without love. It's our life force. The other thing that happens as humans being born is we show up as seekers. We are totally looking for information. We are so curious and we need to know. And so the first thing we do as a child is we figure out, well, how do I get fed? And we latch onto a breast and we breastfeed and we rely on our parents and our conditions around us heavily to keep us safe, to keep us warm, to keep us fed, to keep us healthy. And we begin to learn. We begin to learn instantly that there's certain things that we can do that get us a result that's important and feels good. And there's things that we do that don't get us the result we want. And hence we have children that will cry a lot or children that don't. And different environments will create scenarios where the lessons become hard and difficult and extreme, and they keep coming, and we're conditioned to do two things that we do so well that we don't even realize we're doing them. We judge and we conclude. And the sad part about that, the good part about that is we're learning how to discern, we're learning how to make better decisions, but we make those decisions so quickly and we're conditioned so thoroughly that we forget to be the seekers that we are. And as seekers, we are massively curious beings. We want to know all kinds of things, and we love learning, all of us. In fact, we show up knowing everything that we need to know for the entire lifespan of ourselves on this planet in these bodies. But what we're learning is how to access that information. But when we conclude and judge, we restrict that access. And so the discipline of inquiry is about bringing back curiosity, bringing back the one thing that's the most important thing to us, other than breathing, other than our very life force, other than the love within us, is our ability to be curious and ask why. And why is this important? It's important because if we skip that step, then we very quickly end up taking ourselves into a place that you're all going to relate to, because we've all been there, which is either shame or blame or guilt or resentment, anger, upset, a whole variety of things that stop us in our track and make our lives far more complex than necessary. But it's so simple to change all that. We literally simplify complexity by getting curious. And this isn't curious looking for a specific answer. This is curious being open to whatever answers come our way. So how do we do that? Well, we ask why. We ask why, we ask how, and we learn how to stop ourselves from concluding and judging when something comes up that upsets us, that concerns us, that we know we have to pay attention to. And instead of quickly deciding what it is, we get to ask, why am I feeling this way? Why am I upset? Why am I excited? Why am I worried? Why is this person acting the way they are? When we go into that question,
and we allow ourselves to receive those answers, we have a whole new way of relating to both ourselves and others. Because we jump from resentment and blame and shame and guilt and judgment into acknowledgement and honoring and loving and accommodation and a variety of ways where we can really embrace the human that we're interacting with, including ourselves. So the discipline of inquiry, I call it a discipline because there's a few other disciplines we have in our life that we take for granted. Like we brush our teeth in the morning. We sit on the toilet and we wipe ourselves before we get up, right? We just know to do that, right? Now, most of us do it, hopefully a lot of us, but we make that decision and it's a discipline. We don't have to think about it. Inquiry, curiosity can be that very same thing, that very same thing. So we absolutely want to give ourselves the opportunity to just ask why, and allow ourselves to go deep. Like the first answer might not be complete. So go deeper. Ask why that, then why this? Why am I upset? Oh, well, because I believe that this person doesn't really care about me. Well, why do I have that belief? Oh, because in the last scenario, and that was just like this, the person didn't care about me. So perhaps no one cares about me when I'm in this particular situation. And it's just not true. The truth is what's happening right now in this very present. And if we come at it and address it out of pure curiosity, then the answers we get are embracing and they take all the complexity away and allow us to be truly in our full life force, in the love that we are, exchanging love as we can.
Thank you. Remember to ask why and be open. Be open to what is available. You can go to the4answers.com to connect more with Larry. He's coming back on the show to be the primary guest on October 5th, so we'll have more time. And we're going to dive deep into genetic energetics. This is huge. The information and the knowledge and understanding that this has personally helped me, and I've watched it help others that I have shared it with myself. And I know Larry's got thousands, hundreds of thousands of stories of how it's helped others. So I'm very excited to share it with you all. And thank you, Larry, for being here. And we'll see you on October 5th.
So my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show, Amy.
My pleasure. Awesome. All right. It is time now for the guest of the week. I am so extremely honored and privileged to introduce you again to Mandy Harvey. We met briefly at a book launch with Christina Lakiani Mand. She's actually coming on the show here soon. And she has a book launch called Becoming Flossom. And Mandy was there singing. And I got to meet her. And what a beautiful soul. Like, seriously. And the interaction that we've had since then is just been the best experience. So Mandy is a singer, songwriter, author, and speaker who happens to be deaf. Mandy was Simon Cowell's Golden Buzzer pick on America's Got Talent. The video has collectively received over 500 million views. Mandy uses her talents in artistry to encourage others, which can be seen by her many acts as a part of nonprofit organizations such as No Barriers USA and Work for Music, Not Impossible. With Not Impossible Labs, her heart is to help others achieve their dreams by encouraging them to try and move forward as a community. Mandy Harvey was featured in NBC Nightly News, Great Big Story, Vacations of the Brave, Music, Not Impossible, Not Impossible Labs, the LA Times, Steve Harvey, Dr. Oz, Today, and so much more. Put your hands together for the amazing Mandy Harvey. Woo! Oh, my dear, thank you for fighting traffic and all that you had to do to get here today.
Hey, it's part of life. It's all good. I'm just happy that it worked out. I was like, ooh, I was like to tears. I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
It worked out perfect. It worked out perfect.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah. I started in choir. That was my heart forever. My mom put me in a choir class when I was about 4 years old, and it was a group that was with church. So it was more adults. It wasn't really children young. And I think she needed to get rid of me for just a little bit. And growing up, I was always hard of hearing. So I was a little bit antisocial, a little withdrawn because I lip read. And when you're young, you don't necessarily have the skill set to really keep up and understand kind of the rhythm of conversation and the patterns that happen when people talk. And so I was just very shy and afraid. And being in that class was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. It was the first time that I was handed the sheet music so I could see everything in black and white. And I was a part of the conversation, not just that odd one out watching everybody from a distance. And it made me understand and realize that this is a very unique situation where you can be anybody. You can be from anywhere. Doesn't matter your money. It doesn't matter politics. It doesn't matter, how you cook your eggs and who you vote for. It just really, it doesn't matter. It's a part of a group where people are coming together, becoming one community to make something beautiful. And that transcends outside of just the choir and into the audience where we come together and become an even larger community. And so my heart was to become a teacher. I wanted to teach vocal jazz at a college level because I wanted to give people the skill sets to express themselves, to be a part of that feeling of being a part. I wanted to give that away, but I was horrifically uncomfortable with people staring at me. And the idea of performing was just such a foreign thought. It never really crossed my mind. And then when I went to school for vocal music education, my dream and my reality met. And it was perfect for about a month. And then my hearing loss progressed and I was unable to understand my teachers talking anymore. I thought maybe I was sick. That happened a lot. Or, I perforated my eardrum. That happened a lot. So you never really knew. I was still positive, foolishly positive. And got my hearing checked and I had dropped about 40 decibels, and then went back in a couple weeks, dropped again, went back in a couple weeks, dropped again. And
wow, fast.
Yeah, it was so negative for such a long time is what it felt like, but it was really rather quick. And so by Christmas, my first semester at school, I was legally deaf in both ears and I got fitted for hearing aids. And then by February, they were not helpful enough, and I was dropped from the music program. And then I kind of lost myself in the transition. I had made the biggest mistake of my life, which was attaching my entire identity with one dream. And when that dream didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to, or the way that I thought that it should, I didn't know who I was anymore.
Yeah.
And so I had to rebuild.
Exactly. I can definitely relate a little in that, I used to live in the jungles of New Guinea, and I was a missionary, but my abusive husband it got to be a life and death situation. And so I had to run. And so I was going to live in the jungle for 20 years. I thought, like, that was my dream. That was my identity too. And then all of that changed, and I was like zero, down to zero as far as what was possible. So I am excited to hear how you rebuilt. what you did exactly. But first, I want to show just a little clip on YouTube, if I can make this work,
Sure.
a little bit more about your story. So let me see. I'm going to share screen. Yep. And we're going to do this. Yep. And we're going to play.
Thing I wanted to do was sing. After I lost my hearing at 18, I thought that pursuing dreams was something that was never going to happen again.
I gave up, but I want to do more with my life than just give up. So I figured out how to get back into singing with muscle memory and trusting my pitch.
I was just petrified, but I was daring to dream.
I don't think you're going to need a translator for this.
It was just this crazy moment in time that I will remember for the rest of my life. You wake up in the morning and you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. You blinked and it was 10 million, blinked again, it was 100 million, blinked again, it was 600 plus million views collectively. Lady Gaga was tweeting about me. It was unreal. But mostly I was feeling very overwhelmed when they called my name for Ford.
Mandy Harvey.
And I knew that that was the end. I felt relief. Oh. Sorry. Looking back in that competition, I didn't really believe in myself. Simon was always really encouraging me to be confident.
I hope that you are proud of your choice.
Are you kidding? I would never take it back.
After AGT, I finished 2 albums and I've gotten to perform all over the world. For the first time, I feel like I can represent myself the way that I want to. In the audience for this performance, I have my dad and I have my 4-month-old beautiful baby boy. I would really love to win. I want to prove that I can do it for me.
Amazing.
Crazy. I think in a lot of ways I did win, though. That's the part, you know.
Of course you
don't say, well, because it's a competition, and so everybody says to me all the time, it's like, oh, you got robbed or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, you know, I put myself in a situation that I never expected that I would ever go to, and I expanded myself in a way that I can never take back and I wouldn't want to. And so now I have so much more freedom and confidence and belief in myself. And, you know, I think it's just, it's beautiful how many connections that I have made in that process. So it's just like, I feel like a massive, massive winner.
Oh, you are. I was there. I remember in 2017 when I watched you. I loved you then, and I love you even more now. Like,
oh, that's so sweet.
So amazing what you've been able to do. And so number one, how are you hearing me now and or understanding me rather? Yeah. And then, well, yeah, let's cover that first. How are you understanding me right now?
Well, 3 different ways. One, I have captions, so I'm cheating.
Cheat.
I'm cheating. 2, lip reading. 3, I have my cochlear implant, which is new, but this is really new, so it's difficult to understand. Thus, the captions reign supreme.
Yay for captions. Yay for captions. So tell me about is it cochlear? Yeah. How do you say it?
Cochlear.
Cochlear implant.
Yeah.
All right.
Bad boy.
And it allows you to do what?
Well, so I got it recently, and what it's supposed to allow you to do is to give you a different way of understanding sound. So it bypasses the structure of your ear, and then this receiver takes information and through a program pushes information into your cochlea. So it's not like hearing. It's very mechanical. I mean, it's a computer in your head. And so the computer has to learn. And so I have to learn the differences. I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine. His name is Eric Weinmeier. He's the first man to climb Mount Everest, and he's blind.
Oh my!
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing friend. But I was trying to describe it to him. I was just like, Eric, you're blind, but imagine if tomorrow you woke up and you could see, but the only thing that you could see was numbers and code.
Oof. So
you have information, but you have no idea what that is. And so it's like the Matrix, that green, like the people who see it all the time is like, that's a dude, and that's a tree, and that's a frog, but like the people who just get it, they're like,
right.
That's
me looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. My goal with it, though, is eventually I would like to see if I can learn French, because my husband is French. My son and my family over there are all solely French speakers, and I want to be a part of that world, because communication for me was such a block. Yeah. And it's an incredible gift of love. And so if this is something that may work, I want to try.
I have no doubt that you can do anything that you decide you're gonna do. This I have no doubt.
First, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, so good. So tell me about Louis, your little boy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's 15 months old now.
So he's running everywhere.
He's crazy. He was on the plane with me, so we were just like, He's incredible. He's very rambunctious, and he's very friendly. He's very outwardly friendly, which I was not as much when I was a kid. So wherever we go, he like makes sure to say hi to like everybody individually. And he's just a very bright, brilliant soul. I'm very excited to see who he becomes as he gets older.
Wow. And you're teaching him sign language?
He's started manipulating my heart, because he'll be like, more please. And I'm like, okay.
I taught my kids sign language too, basic,
yep.
So they could communicate and thank you and be polite instead of just demanding, It's amazing. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more of it, because it's such a special language. And
for me, it was newish, so my dad knew some sign language before I lost my hearing, because his roommate in college was deaf. And my mom knew some sign language because she had learned, and she did like the signing music at church. And when I was growing up, there was always this understanding that I had so many issues with my ears and the moderate decline, that on the horizon, I would likely lose my hearing, but their guess would be like around 40 years old. And so in that, it was something that I was very interested in and kind of poked at. But when I lost my hearing and had to start over, it was a very odd acceptance, because now I'm starting over again. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to communicate with people. I'm afraid of the dark, because I can't hear people coming up behind me. I never feel safe or secure, because all of those audio helps that you have, like when you zip up your pants, you know that your pants are zipped. But when you can't hear them, you have to have faith that they're zipped. You do it, but you find yourself checking. Or when you lock the car door or close the car door, you double check. You don't feel that secondary security feeling. And I had to relearn everything. So when I started school again, I was forced to take ASL class, ASL 1 and 2. And so my first experience, I was a little bit more negative, because
I didn't want to have needed to be here.
Right.
You know, I wasn't ready to accept that my life was permanently this way. Not that I have anything against, you know, the deaf community, but I had 18 years in one way, and now everything has changed.
Right.
And so my first experiences with ASL, like the first week, I was very bitter. I was very bitter because I felt like I shouldn't have to be here.
Yep.
And then I found myself just relieved. I was talking with my sister who was with me in that class, and she was signing with me, and we were doing basics like, hello, nice to meet you, my name is blah. And having a conversation for the first time without talking at all, and both of us fully understanding the conversation, was one of the first times that had been true. Because even though growing up I had always lip read, so knowing 100% that I was right was never something on the table.
Right.
And so now this opened a door for me to be able to communicate in a way that I always had the option for. I just didn't know that it was going to be like that.
Right.
And it gave me so much freedom and just so much joy. And now I have such a deep appreciation and connection with the language that I could never envision my life without using it.
Wow. You're speaking my language, joy and freedom. That's what we're all here. Get your shit together. So how did you actually, what were the steps? Are you aware of the steps you took to get over the death of a dream and to create new ones?
Sure. I mean, the first one is the one I think that a lot of people want to skip over. And I think it's probably the most important and probably the most uncomfortable, is I needed to mourn. I needed to have a death party and to understand that that girl, she doesn't exist anymore. She's gone.
Yeah.
I get to create a new person now, because all of my experiences have been tied to that, and I wasn't that anymore. So I had to mourn, and that took me a little bit of a time. Like, there was so much for me to unpack and to become okay with. You know, I used to be really cool. I used to be able to listen to like 16-part choral music and then understand it and just understand why the pieces fit and be able to memorize it just like crazy fast. And with very little effort, I could just absorb. And now I can't do that at all. I have to appreciate music in a very different way. And that was a tough pill to swallow. But once I had my pity party, I started poking around and trying to see and embrace who I was now. So I got involved with the deaf community, and they helped me to understand that I'm not broken, I'm not pitiful, I'm not worthless. I have the abilities to do a lot more than I think I can. Because when I lost my hearing, the world put me in this box saying, you can do this and this and this and this. You can't do this and this and this and this and this. And you get told that so often that you start believing it. But the world doesn't know who you are. The only person who knows who you are is you. So it's your job to prove who you are. And so they gave me the confidence and the courage to start saying yes to things and to put myself in situations where I might fail.
Yes.
But I might also find that after I failed, maybe I could try it this way, and maybe I'll fail again, or maybe eventually I can succeed. And so there was that step. Then I was hanging out with my dad, and he asked me to play guitar with him. And I didn't want to because it was very boring playing music and you're not able to hear it. What's the point?
but he missed his friend. He missed his baby girl, and that's something that we used to do all the time. So I had my guitar and I was playing with him and following the chords and whatever. And without distraction of being able to hear the instrument, I really started focusing on the fact that I could feel the sound that I was creating on my fingertips. And as I was holding onto this instrument down my arm and I'm through, and I could feel it rattling in my chest. And I was like, oh man, music didn't die. I'm the one who gave up.
Oh.
And taking accountability and taking responsibility for my behavior, and to say that, yes, I needed to mourn. Yes, I needed a pity party, but I can't live here.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got pushed along the way. Dad asked me to find a song to sing. My sister gave me a song that she picked. I got the sheet music out. I had a mirror, a guitar tuner, a Sharpie, and a dream. And I was singing in this guitar tuner and trying to find any of the lights that would turn green and then hold on to it with dear life and sing scales and then feel where the vibration was the strongest and mark it off on my face. If you try this at home, use a water-based marker. Sharpie is a horrible idea, but that's not what I had available at the time.
Wait. You mark what on your face?
Oh, just like where the vibration was. So it's like if you sing like, ooh, it's, for me, it vibrates the most here. It will be different for you. And so I would see what that note is and then mark it and then find another note and then go up and down. And it was a visual reminder of the existence of these notes.
I got goosebumps everywhere.
It's a massive amount of work.
Oh, sweetheart, I just adore you. Look, you're such a warrior. So when you sing, are you moving vibrations around your face?
Yeah. So when I'm singing, I'm paying attention to the feeling on my throat, and specific ones buzz in your nasal cavity or rumble in your chest. And so you kind of get used to those feelings. And that's kind of my guidance of feeling confident. Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid amount of work and definitely underappreciated, but it works for me. And so I created this system. I started singing a song. My dad introduced me to my vocal coach. She was like, you have to start taking voice lessons again. So I started doing that again. I got pushed, kept saying yes to things because I needed to find who I was. So I had to try things. And so said yes, couldn't take it back. And then she was like, what do you want to sing? I said, jazz. So you're going to sing at a jazz club. Okay. Now I said yes. And so now I'm singing at a jazz club. I used to vomit on people when I was nervous. That's not the best idea. And it was just a mess. And so I went and held onto the piano with everything that I had and counted, but based off of the vibration, how many measures until my entrance, kept singing the note to the pianist. He's like, yeah, you're fine. Terrified. And then this weird thing happened. I just closed my eyes and thought to myself, my biggest fear was losing my hearing all my life, and that already happened. So what's the worst that can happen now?
That's the gift of going through hell.
Yeah.
Everything's relative.
Time, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it modified when I started performing, and then I was asked to make an album, and then I was asked to do concerts, and I just kind of got pushed along. I got to a point where I was offered the opportunity to audition for AGT, and I didn't want to do it because I was too afraid. And Eric, my friend, he said, well, what's the worst that can happen? And I didn't know. And he said, well, what do you want to do with your life? And that I knew. I want to encourage people to show a different side of what a disability looks like, to be a living example that it's okay to fail. Awful. Fail publicly. Just fail again and again and again and again. That you can get back up and you can move forward and you can find joy in your life. And so I showed up. I had no expectations. I didn't even know exactly what a golden buzzer even meant. And right before I walked on the show, that thing of what's the worst that can happen, what's the worst that can happen, what's the worst that can happen, changed in my mind to what's the best that can happen. If my goal is to encourage people, then my heart should only be focused on one person. If I can help one person, even if I fail, even if all of the audience, hates me or the judges X me off, who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're doing it, girl. You're doing it. You're so appreciated. I mean, every time anyone hears from you, they can't not be inspired. So thank you. I can't believe we're out of time. This goes so fast. But hang tight. I'm going to have you at the end. I'm going to ask you the question. If you're on a mountaintop and you had the whole world's attention and they were actually paying attention, and you had one thing to share, what would that be? All right?
Yeah.
And next is Mantra Magic. Thank you. You're amazing. She's so lovely. All right, so this is Mantra Magic. Mantra Magic is the part of the show where we do a new program. We sing something, Maria Ishtali and I, we sing a mantra that is designed to reprogram the mind. So instead of going around feeling like, what's the worst that can happen? You're saying, what's the best that can happen? Maybe I'll have to make that into a mantra, Mandy, with your permission. But here's your mantra for the week. Welcome to Mantra Magic. I'm here with the amazing Maria Ishtali, and here is your mantra for the week. All right. So Mandy has generously provided a ukulele for us. Oh, I'm going to bring her on. Here she is. Yay, there it is. So I am incorporating, just came to me a few minutes before the show, that we're going to have a Mantra Magic Challenge. And I want you to sing that song, I Am Amazing. Send it to me vertically, where you hold the phone this way, not this way, this way. And singing this song in the same tune as when you play it. So you're going to go to Instagram, Amy Joy Coaching. Here, I'm going to put it up on Instagram. It gets posted every Friday. So I'm going to post it. Actually, I'll probably post it today. And you can go there, get the Instagram, and then send me your video of you singing or put it in the story. Just make sure I get it. And the most creative one, we're going to send this ukulele to you. So, woo! And you have until next show. So next Thursday at 4:00, every week we have the show, and I'll announce the winner, and it'll be really fun. So singing. I am amazing. And thank you, Mandy, for contributing this beautiful gift. All right. Fun. All right. It is now time for meditation moment. Beautiful. All right. This is the part of the show where we take just 5 minutes. I might do 4 minutes today just for time, where we just get present. We breathe and we get present and we take a moment to be with ourselves in this moment. So grab the kids, grab the grandkids, grab whoever is around you, have a seat, get comfortable, and breathe for a minute. Just notice your breath. And I'm going to play some beautiful music here from the amazing Gary Malkin. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Now I want you to observe, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel crappy? Do you feel happy? Whatever's true is true. Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just become aware. And breathe. And then notice your thoughts. What are you telling yourself right now? Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of the future? Are they thoughts of the present? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And then visualize a candle burning right in front of your eyes. And watch it flicker there. Notice the reds, the yellows, oranges, the whites. And breathe. And then bring that candle right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. And with your hands on your heart, I want you to think of one thing you are so grateful for. So grateful for. Hopefully it brings a smile to your lips. And while you're in this expansive place, I'm going to send you an energetic activation. All you have to do is set the intention to receive it. With a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. Come back to this moment. Open your eyes, wiggle your toes and your fingers. Come back to me. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to bring Mandy and Larry back on. Here we go. Here we go. Yay. How was that for you guys? Beautiful. So, if you were on a mountaintop and you had the whole world's attention and you had one thing to share, only one thing to share, what would that be, Mandy?
If I knew it was going to happen ahead of time, I would definitely write a song to perform special for that moment. If I didn't know and it was just like, and go, I would just want to tell people that they are unique and precious, and regardless of the mountains that you're traversing and the barriers that you face, if you build a community of people, surround yourself with those who can encourage you, push you past your comfort zone, lend you hope. Those barriers are breakable. It might feel impossible, but it's only impossible today. Tomorrow, we can do it tomorrow together.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Larry, real quick, you got 20 seconds.
Oh, gosh. In 20 seconds, I would say to people, get curious, stop looking for proof, allow yourself to be totally surprised by the truth.
Woo! Exactly. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you, everyone that's been watching. Thank you for taking time to spend with us today. Remember that together we vibrate higher, and that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Besos. Mwah! Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.